Good afternoon, this is Empty Pocket Speech. In a previous video, I've covered some different strategies that you can use at home to work with your kids on their speech and their language. I'm going to show you some different tools and ways that you can maximize the number of opportunities for a sound and for your child to practice their targets while at home. Let's get right to it. This is by no means an exhaustive list of tools that you can use. These are just a couple that I like, that I find are very accessible and very easily available and adapted. So the first one that I want to show you is the common dice. So I have a foam one right here. It's a little bit larger. It's easier for some of these smaller kids or ones who have fine motor difficulties to hold onto and grasp so they can use it to roll. It's also soft. So if a kid does have a hard time and gets frustrated and feels like they need to throw it, it's not going to hurt anybody. Now the wonderful thing about a dice is that on the dice it shows different numbers. So this one, it goes 1 to 3. 3 is the highest. The most common dice will have a range from 1 to 6. You have the child or yourself roll the dice and it can be used to show how many times that child has to practice their sound or their word. You can use the dice simply as it is to throw a little bit of chance into the mix to make the exercise a little bit more fun. You can also use it with a board game. So if you're playing a board game and your child has to move across the board, whatever roll they get on the dice is how many times they have to practice the word in question. So a dice is an amazing tool that I like to use and you can absolutely use at home. For a similar purpose, I have this spinner. Whatever the arrow lands on is the number that the child has to make of a target sound or of a target word. One of my favorite little tools that I use is the speech phone. Now this is a great way for your kids to actually hear what they are saying a little bit better. I made this one out of PVC from an OSH hardware store that I picked up. You can also find the materials at your local hardware store or at a Lowe's or a Home Depot. What this does is you have them put one piece to the ear, the other end goes near their mouth, and it cups the air and it makes it very easy for them to hear their own voice. The speech phone is really great for giving kids that auditory feedback so that they can hear themselves a little bit better, a little bit more clearly, so they can tell the difference between a k and a t. They can start to hear some of those subtleties of the sound by placing one end to the ear and one near the mouth. Kids also love using this. They find it very fun, very rewarding to have it and be able to talk into. So you can build one of these on your own. You can also have your kid use their hand, though that might be a little bit harder for some of them, especially when their hands are so small. But this is a great way to get those kids to have that auditory feedback for the sounds that they're trying to make. Another tool and resource that you can use with your kids is to print out word lists. This particular word list has words with the Z in the beginning, middle, and end of the words. So this is a great way to practice. So if you pair one of these word lists with the dice or with the spinner, you can create a game where you and your child are competing to get the most points and thereby practice the most words. And by doing so, you can get some amazing practice and many opportunities for that sound to be made. Alright, so those are just a couple of ideas, things that you can work on at home with materials and things that you already have readily available. Well, you've reached the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing. If you have any questions or comments that you would like to share, please put them down below and let me know. I'll see you next time.